In this episode of Lake Log, I get to announce the official 2021 Lake Log Bird of the Year. And no, it's not you. My name is Dean and you're watching Lake Log. If you're tuning in for the first time, thank you. If you're a returning subscriber, coming back for more, thank you. And if you told a friend and they said, please don't bother me with that weirdo, good try, thank you. You know, I'm super excited because it's 2021, and even though the world is in the grip of a global pandemic, economies are crashing, I get to announce the 2021 official Lake Log Bird of the Year. I know what you're thinking. You know, you said you were not an official of anything, so how can you have a Bird of the Year? Okay, so it's an unofficial Bird of the Year. I'm not the Audubon Society. But I get to choose a bird that I like, right? And I'm going to. Official, unofficial, not official. Doesn't really matter. I get to announce my favorite bird for 2021. I'm very excited. And lately I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels, and it seems like after about a year, a YouTube channel really starts to take off. I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary of Lake Log, and I'm expecting in just a few weeks for my subscriber count to go through the roof. If you've been watching Lake Log, you might have a few ideas of what bird I will pick. What could it be? Well, it could be the great blue heron. That'd be a logical choice after all the time I spent observing them. Yeah, great blue heron. No, it's not the great blue heron. You know why? Because the great blue heron, although it has superior parenting skills, is really kind of a cold, heartless killer. They really don't care about a prestigious award like Bird of the Year. So, it's not going to be the great blue heron. Well, you thinking, good morning. You might think it's the limpkin. Limpkin's a good choice. I mean, what better way than to extend an olive branch to the bird species that you've most maligned in the past year? Well, I apologize to the limpkins. Whether they accepted it or not is their problem. Limpkin's not going to be Bird of the Year. Why? Because they're just too weird. And what about the osprey? That's a good choice. Ospreys are cool. No, see, that's the biggest problem. Ospreys are too cool. All birds of prey, eagles, ospreys, hawks, they know they're cool. And they know they're cooler than people. So, the osprey's not going to give a dang about being chosen for the prestigious award of Lake Log Bird of the Year. So no, it's not going to be the osprey. Okay, so what about some of the lesser birds like coots, gallinules, moorhens, or ducks? Well, as we've established before, it's not going to be a duck. I'm not a duck fan. So I'm sorry, duck fans. Ducks are not going to become the 2021 Lake Log Bird of the Year. And moorhens and gallinules and coots? Well, questionable parenting skills. I don't think I can ethically choose them for Lake Log Bird of the Year. What about cormorants and anhingas? You like those? I don't think so. I mean, anhingas and cormorants are underwater most of the time. They're like a Russian nuclear sub that only comes up so the crew can smoke a cigarette and eat a can of sardines. How could you have a bird of the year that we never really see that much? What about the ibis? Ibis are beautiful. Ibi. Well, might be a good idea, except for the fact that the ibis is never alone. Whenever you see an ibis, it's with a group of other ibises. You're insane. And how can I give out an award to an ibis if there's a whole bunch of them? I got to give out awards to all of them. That wouldn't be fair. I just don't have that many awards. Okay then, so which bird will be chosen the official, unofficial, 2021 Lake Log Bird of the Year? Turns out it's the green heron. I already knew that. And there aren't any around right now. If there were, they'd be clapping their wings together. The reality of it is that there was probably a green heron not far from me the whole time. Green herons, like any other heron, are very good at remaining motionless. So whether they're stalking prey or trying to avoid detection from predators, they can stand in one spot and not move at all for what seems like hours at a time. The green heron is my favorite heron because they're just so cool looking. I love the coloration, the pattern on their feathers, and my favorite feature is the ridiculous expanding neck. Usually the green heron's neck is tucked in tight, but if it's alarmed, trying to get a better view, or flying, that neck expands to almost the length of their body. Makes them a little silly looking when they fly, but I think it's one of the most charming and endearing features they have. When I decided to make an episode exclusively about the green heron, I went out looking for him. And, as Murphy's Law would dictate, as soon as you start looking for something, you can't find it. I went out morning after morning, looking for green herons in the places I'd seen them before. And when once I thought there were green herons everywhere, I couldn't find one anywhere. That doesn't mean I passed up an opportunity to record something else. And eventually, I did find some green herons in the places that they usually are. Oh, it's a gator. Green herons love to hunt from the lily pads, so I recorded this one briefly until it noticed me and flew away. Most of my encounters with green herons can be summed up this way: stumbling across one, trying to get some video, and watching it fly away. But I didn't give up. The green heron is actually more of a nocturnal bird than it is a diurnal one. But they do hunt early in the morning and in the evenings. So if you're quiet, sometimes you can catch one doing something interesting. I went out looking for green herons with the full awareness that I was probably paddling right past them most of the time. Like this one that I recorded for almost 5 minutes, and it never once made a motion to put its foot down. Green herons love to perch on low-hanging branches to hunt fish. I recorded this one as it moved down to the end of the branch, as stealthily as it could. It got into position, and then, after a little bit, seemed to realize that its neck was just not long enough to reach the water. Most of the time, the green heron is either perching or standing motionless. But every once in a while, I got lucky and captured that crazy expanding neck. Most of the video that I shoot on Lake Log is shot in slow motion, and you're watching it in about half speed. I do this because I think it really slows things down to where you can appreciate the beauty of what you're seeing. The green heron strike is actually much faster, so here it is in real time. It's amazing to me that the green heron can do any of this successfully. I recorded this one afternoon on a skinny branch in a decent breeze as it tried to stretch its neck to its full length to get a fish below, and then lost its balance and had to bail on the whole idea to avoid going for a swim. I sometimes get the idea that green herons are so good at being motionless that they think they become invisible, like this little one. They're tolerant of other birds around them, and they seem tolerant of me and my giant red canoe up to a point. But this one just didn't seem to want to be bothered while it was working, what with 2 limpkins and a tricolored heron about to step into its personal space. Most of the time, the green heron is doing just this. This is typical green heron territory. Some grassy shallows, a lily pad, an overhanging branch. And the green heron, right in the middle of it, intently stalking something with that unflinching gaze. One of the things I've learned while working on lake log is that birds sometimes think just like people. For example, if it's been a cold night, look for the birds in the sun the next morning, because they're trying to warm up just like we would. The other thing I learned is that you should never pack up your gear until you're absolutely done. I managed to capture this green heron with a magnificent catch, only after unpacking my gear and setting it up as fast as I could. I'm glad I did. It was lucky for me, not so much for the tree frog. So that's it for this episode of Lake Log. Thanks for watching. And you remember that friend that I talked about that wants you to leave them alone every time you mention me? Well, give it another shot. What can it hurt? Oh yeah, green heron, that's a good choice there. Yeah, that's a pretty one. Oh yeah, but not so majestic. Maybe you should pick a bigger bird, like a ostrich or something.